The October 9th, 2013 meeting of the Ascension Parish Zoning Commission will now come to order. Madam Secretary, please note that Mr. Robert Burgess is absent and all other commissioners are present. And all of the staff, except for you, has introduced themselves earlier, so please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Patrice Johnson, Zoning Secretary.
Thank you. Okay, it brings us to agenda item number 5, minutes of the September 13th, 2013 zoning meeting. What's your pleasure?
Move to accept.
Mr. Ori moves to accept.
I move.
Mr. Chafisi seconds. Any objection? Okay, the minutes are accepted. Agenda item 6, chairman's comments. The chair has no comments at this time. Agenda item number 7, a public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Development Code for recommendation for the approval or denial to the Ascension Parish Council. We have 3 items here. A is zoning review ID 2362.13, Lot 94 of Bonlou subdivision for Joe Cascio. And the request is to change the zoning from medium intensity residential to mixed use 2. The petitioner is here.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Joe Cascio, and I represent my family, Cascio Realty Ventures. And we're requesting a rezoning from residential to MU on Lot 94, Bonlou. There is, and I enclosed the plats on the initial application. The tract to the north of us is commercial tract, and the tract on the east and west borders are both in non-conforming use. And that's about it.
What is the non-conforming use?
There's a duplex on the east side, and on the west side is just a piece of property that was not part of the subdivision, just an unsubdivided tract with a house on it. It's been there for, goodness, since I've been out there.
So, it's a residence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And on the other side is a duplex, which is also a residence?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Questions of commissioners, comments?
I wasn't able to go out to the site today, but I did do a Google map search, and Bordeaux Street is, or at least, some distance on either side of this, completely residential. Although Highway 42, of course, which is parallel to Bordeaux, not very far away, is commercial. So the residential houses on Bordeaux that the backs of those houses are largely mixed, I guess, commercial and residential. But the area, the street is completely residential. So
What I'd like to also tell you, gentlemen, is that the proposed buyer for this property he wanted to use this strictly for a parking area. And in, I think, one of the plats that I enclosed, he suggested that he would fence this off with a wood fence around the perimeter. And in fact, I think it would probably look better than it does now, for sure.
And this is parking for what?
For the commercial tract that is immediately north of this property.
So access there will be no access on Bordeaux
No, sir.
Lane. It will come through the back of that parking
Yes, sir.
lot off of 42.
I think that I had a plat enclosed with my application that showed that drawing. Do you all have that?
Which, it's the plat, you say?
Yeah, well, it was a proposed drawing that, about fencing and the use of the property. Would you like me to put it on the screen?
The only thing I see are the tracks and then the aerials.
Can I put this on the screen for you? Okay.
Yeah, we do have that.
Great.
Oh, I see where it says
Yeah.
proposed wood
Yes,
fence.
the lot's
Right.
here, proposed wood fence, and this is the commercial property on 42.
What's allowed in residential medium and Right, but what's allowed in wanted to look at the table real quick. I wanted to see.
Mr. Cassia?
Yes.
What does the business do that's going to use the park? Or is it trucks or cars, or is it 18-wheelers? or?
No, it's cars and trucks. It's a,
What
it's a-
business is
it's
it?
a little shopping center. It was once existing there, and they're building back a section of it. And quite frankly, the building is very close to 42, and he's going to need some parking.
You want to show that map, Mr. Cassia? It's right in the middle, your property is right in the middle.
Yes, sir. She gave me the Google map. I'm just having a difficult time finding out where it is in the map. But this is the property that I'm talking about.
But it conforms with the lots up front.
Now, would this zoning change require that a fence be built?
No, sir.
So if we change it, it wouldn't guarantee that the fence would be built, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
That's not enforceable.
No, sir.
Right.
No, we can't condition the
Also,
zone.
if we change it, it doesn't have to become a parking lot.
No, sir. Whatever use is permitted in the district would be allowed.
Okay.
On the table, under residential medium, the only commercial use, which it says is limited to commercial use, is signs and on-site use advertising.
Right. Yes, sir.
So what he's trying to attain with the parking lot is not covered under RM.
Correct.
Okay.
Are we in public hearing yet or not? We're not.
No. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
It would've taken me 10 minutes.
Okay, well, this does call for a public hearing, and at this point, I'd like to open the public hearing. Patrice, do we have cards? No one? Okay, well, you all would like to speak on this issue? Come on up, please, and fill out a card. And the public comments are typically limited to 3 minutes unless we have some questions for you, so,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
But just fill out the cards and then we'll hear from you.
Thank you.
It's a different type of development is also.
Yes, go ahead and identify yourself.
My name is Hal Roy.
And I'm Barbara Roy. We live in the property immediate to the east, I believe, of the proposed parking lot.
Okay.
And we're here to represent the owner. We're not the owners of the property. They currently live in Texas. They had asked us to attend. But the comment about it being an improvement with a wooden fence is totally incorrect. It's an open property land right now, which we have maintained for the 20 years that we have lived there.
When we moved there, grass was up. I went through like 2 or 3 push mowers, and I had enough. I ended up buying a ride lawnmower. I take care of it. I never knew who it was for. I was misinformed. Someone told me it was a parish property. Well, I'm going to take care of it for mice, snakes, and other rodents that were coming around. I've got it down. Anybody that Googles it, goes through there and looks at it, that has been mowed and taken care of because of me and my neighbor, the other gentleman that's here behind me. We've taken care of it. No wooden fence. The wooden fence that they put back there, it's just a wood brown fence. From my doorway, say maybe my carport, 3 foot, I'm gonna look at a wooden fence. That's nice.
And the whole street is residential.
And it's residential.
houses.
I mean, think of it like this for yourself. Y'all live in a subdivision maybe, I'm not sure. But would you like to look out your side of the house? Yeah, that's a parking lot. It's pretty nice. Now, on the other side, that's my neighbor that we used to talk to, but there's a wooden fence now. But who says, it's like you say, you don't have to put the wooden fence. Let me walk by the Beamer and maybe a couple of trucks, and I'll go talk to my neighbor and see how he's doing for the day. It's not right. I'm against it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My name's Kurt Hastings. I live on the other side of the wooden fence. And as it stands right now, I have that complex that they built is literally 20 feet from the back of my house, 20 to 25 feet. And so that'll be, I'll have a, you know, the complex or whatever, the shopping center behind me, a wooden fence on this side, and a parking lot. So what does that do to my property value? What am I gonna do with that? So basically, I mean, it's a subdivision. It's where kids play. So I mean, would you wanna have that next to your house? You know, I mean, it's defeating my whole purpose. So, I mean, you know, people gonna drive down the road, and I got, you know, trees and, you know, stuff in my yard. It's nothing great, but, you know, it's just not gonna be good. It's a neighborhood.
Okay.
So, I don't know how else to say it, but it's, the way that fence and the way that property's designed, when they put that wooden fence, it's gonna go all the way out to the road, to the subdivision, to the subdivision road. So, anyway, I'm against it, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, at this time, we will close the public hearing. Other questions, comments from commissioners?
I just have one comment, Mr. Chairman, that my real concern for this is that once that property is sold, he mentioned that the people that were interested in buying it wanted to make it a parking lot. But once it's sold, if they decide they want to expand their business into the subdivision, they're free to do it. We can't regulate that it stays a parking lot, and I think we're opening up a possible situation that would present some major problems to the residents of that subdivision area. And for that reason alone, I think it's something that we must deny, because, you know, there's no control to keep it a parking lot, even if that's what they intended to do with it. So, I would like to make a motion that we deny this, unless anybody's got some further comments on it.
We have a
Well, I'll
motion-
second that
Motion on the floor to deny.
I'll
Mr.
second.
Chafisi seconds that motion. Any other discussion?
To piggyback on that, what I'm looking at is the table A. Certainly, it would be a drastic change, it appears to me, if you change from RM to MU2, it brings a lot more opportunity for commercial venture. My understanding, this is predominantly a residential area. If it rezones, now, as I look at this table, there's a lot more potential for a great deal of commercial ventures.
Right.
That being said, it appears to change the nature of the environment.
I would say that even if all the residents in the area were for it, we'd still have a hard time justifying changing it from
That's correct.
residential. It's completely residential. I don't know what could possibly justify changing it.
It might not have access now coming from that subdivision road, but later there's nothing to stop it from
Right.
gaining access. Yeah.
Any other comments? Well, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay.
I did. I
All right,
seconded.
you seconded? Okay. All those, is any objection to the motion? Okay, so the motion passes and the request is denied. The recommendation is denied. Okay. 7B, a public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code, Section 17-2087, signs off-premise sign standards. Might need a little explanation on this one. Lance?
Yes, sir. We spoke about this last time. This is dealing with, basically with taking of properties along, basically at this point at Highway 42. Those properties are zone MU2, majority of them along Highway 42. And right now, off-site signs are not permitted in that district. So what we did is, I guess you could say, someone kind of mentioned it last time, kind of like a grandfathering, I guess you could call it that, is that we wrote code, or code is being introduced or proposed to allow, if there's a taking, that they would be allowed to put those signs back if it's MU2. And there's certain standards that they have to abide by if that occurs. Meaning that if they're double stacked, they can't be double stacked, they have to stay, you know, single. There's a square footage requirement. It has to be immediately adjacent to the property that the taking occurs. So that's basically what this code, or what this proposed change is doing.
So if there is a piece of property, say on Highway 42, and 20, 40 feet is taken and there was a sign on that, this would allow them to put the sign back on that same piece of property, but away from the...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the right of way, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Question, you said adjacent property also, if they couldn't put it back on the property that we took? He just said on the same piece of property.
It would be immediately adjacent to the
Adjacent
property,
to the
yes, sir.
property,
Correct,
we-
that's being
okay.
taken, yes, sir. Sorry.
Sorry, that was my.
Okay, questions of commissioners, other?
When you submit this, does it include the comments?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
include the comments?
Yes, sir.
As part of the
The ordinance?
Yes, sir.
ordinance? Well, I just had a question about
Okay.
the second comment.
Okay.
To accommodate new previously non-existing off-site advertising structures. It sounds redundant, but if it's new, why do you need to say
non-existing.
previously non-existing?
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, it came from an, I'll quote Ricky, it came from an attorney.
Oh, never mind, that figures,
Yeah,
all right. We get it now.
Okay. All right, any other questions, comments? We need a public hearing on this, so I'll open up the public hearing. We have any cards, Patrice? Okay, well, I will then close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
I move that we make a recommendation to the council for
Council, for
approval.
this.
I second it.
Moved by Mr. Chafisi, second by Mr. Bishop. Any objection? Okay, that motion is approved. We'll recommend that to the council. And 7C is a public hearing to amend the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code, Table A, permitted uses by district, remove the use of travel trailer parks for tourists. This was as we discussed in the Planning Commission meeting.
Correct, yes, sir.
So we would just remove that one line from that code.
Yes,
the-
sir.
The chart.
Correct, so Ricky and I don't have to interpret what a tourist is, so yes, sir.
Okay. They wear funny clothes and.
Yeah, I
okay.
know, yeah, I know.
Camera.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so, again, we would need a public hearing for this. Any questions by this, by the way, any other discussion? We'll open the public hearing. Do we have any, cards? Okay, so we will then close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion
Motion
to approve.
to approve, yes.
Okay, Mr. Nizo moves.
I'll second.
Mr. Ori seconds. Any other discussion? Any objection? Okay, that motion carries. Agenda item 8, staff report. No staff
Nothing.
report. Any other comments? Okay, agenda item 9, adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, second, I'll second that. Can I second it? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.